and welcome to this introduction to the MSc Medical Statistics at the University of Leicester. My name is Stephanie Hubbard and I'm the course director for the MSc. And in this video I'm going to tell you about the MSc, the environment in which it's based and careers that the course might lead you into. Firstly, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the university and our course. The university is currently ranked in the top 30 of UK universities and 192nd in the world. It's in the top 10 for UK student experience, and our research quality is ranked 5th in the UK, with nearly 90% of our research classed as world leading or internationally excellent. I'm going to tell you a bit more about our statistics research on a later slide. The MSc is based in the College of Life Sciences, which includes Leicester Medical School, and the course has been running for over 40 years. So there are lots of graduates from this course working internationally. So a bit about what is medical statistics? Well, it's the application of statistical methods to data that's being collected to answer medical and healthcare problems. And as a medical statistician, you may be involved in the design of studies to collect data and advising on the conduct of these studies. You will, of course, be analysing data and presenting the findings to different audiences, such as clinical researchers or other statisticians. You'll also be interpreting the findings to think about their impact and how your results can support clinical and healthcare decision-making. And through the course, you'll find out about these stages. You also may be involved in the development of new methodology for increasingly complex health data sets that are available to statisticians. The main sources of the data that we look at come from clinical trials. These are designed experiments where subjects are randomly allocated to a new healthcare intervention, such as a drug, or a standard intervention, and then the two groups of subjects are compared to evaluate the effectiveness of the new intervention. You'll also come across epidemiological studies. These are observational studies where we might be observing patterns of disease in a population or investigating the risks of illness or death in populations that may have been exposed to something that can have an impact on their health. For example, we might be looking at vaping versus smoking. The analysis of these sorts of studies is more complex because we have to take into account characteristics of the subjects, such as their age, sex, previous medical history, and other risk factors that might exist and have an impact on the outcome. Statisticians also have access to other available data sources, such as electronic health records from hospitals and primary care, or biobanks of patient data that include genetic information. These sorts of data sets have lots of challenges. So, for example, the data's not always been coded correctly. You might be dealing with large amounts of missing data. So it takes a bit of managing the data before it can be used. But it does provide a valuable source of information that can inform future healthcare research. We have a teaching week on study design on the MSc that will tell you all about these types of studies and the sort of data that you get from them. And then we have modules specifically on clinical trials and epidemiology. So this slide gives you a little bit of information about the people who teach on the course and the sort of research they do. So we're all active health researchers. So we have a group of genetic epidemiologists whose main role is to explore links between health outcomes and genes and the environment. We also have a group that develop methods to measure and report on cancer survival. We do a lot of looking at predicting disease outcome and risk. We develop methods that will evaluate the effectiveness and cost effectiveness of new interventions, so to help support decisions in whether these new interventions are going to be used. We also look at associations between health and our environment. So there's lots of research going on within the groups that we'll teach on the MSc. So you'll see lots of examples and projects based on our research. And many of the people named on this slide are graduates from the MSc. And I've put a link to our research group so you can have a look a bit more about who we are and what we do. The aims of the course are to provide you with the skills you need to be a practicing medical statistician. We focus on the practical application of statistical methods using statistical software, but we do cover necessary theoretical background so that you understand when to use the methods and what the software is doing. There is also a focus on developing key skills that you need, and we'll talk about that in a little while. Our programme has been accredited by the Royal Statistical Society, so you can claim graduate statistician status when you join the Society on graduation. The course is based in the School of Medical Sciences in the College of Life Sciences at Leicester. We run the course in full-time, which is a full year from September to September. But we also have a part-time route, and you can contact me to find out more about our part-time route that will take you through the course over 2 years and 3 months. We have taught modules from October to May, and they are followed by a project from June to September for full-time students. And all the modules we teach are focused on medical and health data. The course is taught in week blocks. So you can see here that we have 7 core 15 credit modules. And then we have a 15 credit option where you can choose to specialise in health technology assessment or genetic epidemiology, or you can study some more advanced medical statistics topics. After these taught modules, there's an individual project from June to September, and you'll be given a list of projects proposed by staff, or you can propose your own project. You will be allocated a supervisor who will meet with you weekly over the 12 weeks, who can support you in your project work and writing your project report. So this is your opportunity to apply the skills that you've developed throughout the course. So I said we teach in week blocks. This is an example of a draft timetable for students starting in September 2026, and these are the term 1 weeks. So we teach in week blocks, so you can see we have Monday afternoon, Tuesday to Thursday 9 till 4, and then Friday morning. You'll see we have teaching weeks. And during a teaching week, you will have a mixture of lectures, computer practicals. You'll undertake some group work. You may have to give a presentation. So there's a range of things within a teaching week. And these teaching weeks are assessed primarily using coursework, which is undertaken in the coursework weeks that are also in italics on this timetable. Coursework is varied, so you might be analysing real medical data and having to write a report on your findings. You might be asked to undertake problem-based exercises based on smaller sets of data. You may have to review and critically appraise a research paper, or you could be asked to do some statistical programming. So the coursework is done immediately after the teaching week. So you get taught a subject, then you're assessed on it. We only have one exam, and that's online after the break in April, so at the end of term 2. There's a strong focus throughout the course on developing employability skills that you need to be a practicing medical statistician. So throughout the course, you will develop your statistical programming skills, and we use Stata and R throughout the course. We don't mind which one you use, but at the beginning of the course, we ensure that you can use both of them. There will also be an opportunity to learn Python during the options at the end of the course. Through the teaching weeks, we often ask you to work in groups and present the findings of your group work to the other students, because as a statistician, you will need to work with others and present your findings. Most of the group work and presentations are not assessed, but for one of the assessments, study design, you will be presenting a group poster of a study that you've designed to answer a medical question. You'll also get the opportunity to present your findings in formal statistical reports and asked to read and critique a research paper. So we will develop these skills as we go through the course. During your time with us, you will be allocated a personal tutor who can support you through your development. They'll be able to give you careers advice, be a first point of contact for any pastoral issues that may arise, and we'll be able to direct you to any support services within the university. So we have lots of support services, both for the key skills on this slide, but also for any other issues you have and things that you want to develop. After you graduate from the MSc, what will you be doing? Well, some of our graduates go to work in the pharmaceutical industry on drug and technology development in both large pharmaceutical companies and in smaller contract research organisations that have contracts linked to the bigger companies. And these are probably the best paid roles for graduate statisticians. A lot of the graduates stay within the university environment and work in, for example, clinical trials units. And these are usually linked to universities that have medical schools. We also have research posts within university environment, working, for example, in a specialised disease area such as diabetes, respiratory illness, cardiovascular sciences are examples of what we do at Leicester. You could be working as a statistical consultant, so providing advice on the design, conduct and analysis of a study. Or you might go and work for a research council such as the Medical Research Council or the NHS in the UK. A number of students each year also go on to PhD study, and we advertise quite a lot of funded PhD opportunities that are for both UK and sometimes also for international students. You'll see on the next page that we have those sorts of opportunities at Leicester. So the top student was an international student who's doing a PhD in genomic epidemiology and public health genomics. We also send PhD students to other universities, but we have students going to work in all sorts of universities and in industry. So these are just a few of the recent employers, not a complete list. More about the environment. Well, at Leicester, within the College of Life Sciences, there are around 60 statisticians working in health-related research areas. So we have a very active community. So you'll see that there's lots going on. Different people will come in and talk to you throughout the course from different areas. So you'll find out a lot more about what it's like to work as a medical statistician. And there are seminars throughout the year that you will be invited to attend. We have a computer lab that we teach in, and you can use for self-study when no one else is booked in that lab. So there's always plenty of computers around the university for you to use and study areas. It's about Leicester. Well, Leicester is located right in the heart of England, so we're right in the middle, and it's easier to get to most places within the UK. We're a very diverse and inclusive city, and a very diverse and inclusive university as well. Lots of things going on within the city. We're very close to the city centre and within easy access of the train station and bus station. Finally, if you have any questions for us, if you want to know more about the course, or you have some questions about admissions, please do email us on mscmedstats@le.ac.uk. Thank you for listening.